Right, we're going to look at legislation. The thing that makes this a difficult topic is so wide. There are 6 different legal acts that you need to know about, that you could be asked about in the exam. The good news is you don't need to know a lot about all of these acts. So it's not like you need to know them in massive amounts of detail. You just need to understand some of the main points, and then you might be able to have to apply that to a scenario. So, legislation can appear in Part A, and it could be about your organisation and your case study. It could also appear in Part B, where they'll give you a new kind of scenario in the exam question that you have to answer. So what are the different acts you need to know about? The Data Protection Act is the biggest one, and in some ways it's the most likely one to come up on the exam. And then the Copyright Design and Patents Act, Computer Misuse, Health and Safety at Work, EU Health and Safety Directives. These two are very similar to each other, obviously, because they're both about health and safety. And then Electronic Communications Act. So the idea of all of these acts is they're designed to protect people, or to keep people safe, or to make sure that other laws aren't broken, okay? So quite important things, not necessarily interesting things, but important nonetheless. So 3 things you need to know. Its purpose, how it affects organisations, and then some of the main points of the legislation. And like I said before, don't worry if you don't remember every single point. Just remember as much as you can about each one. So there's an extract here, which is both on the blog, the class blog. It's also in your exam journal, this presentation here. So you can get this presentation, click on the extract here in the slides if you can't find it on the blog, okay? So this will tell you about each of those acts. So what you need to spend some time doing is going through that extract there, which comes directly from the coursework exam book. So the textbook that comes from the exam board. I couldn't think of my word there. The textbook that comes from the exam, this is direct from them. It's the things that they want you to know about. So let's just open that up and have a very quick spy. I'm not going to go through in masses of detail with you in this video. So, purpose. If I go back, sorry. Purpose, how it affects organisations, and main points. So for the Data Protection Act, you would read this. What's it all about? What's it for? Find out the purpose. Think about what an organisation needs to do. Some of this stuff tells you there. The organisation must provide. Organisations need to store and process data, and so on. So it tells you a lot about organisations in here, all the stuff that you need to know. And then you need to know the main points. So you can see for the Data Protection Act here, it has 8 points that you need to know about. So they are the things that you need to make sure that you know. Now in the exam, you might get a question asking for 3 things that you need to do as part of the Data Protection Act and how that might impact on an organisation. So you wouldn't need to list all 8 of them. You just need to make sure that you remember 3, maybe 4 maximum, and you can talk about them and say how they affect an organisation. Same for the other acts. If we go to Copyright Design Patent Act, it'll tell you about that, what it is. It'll tell you a little bit about what people need to do or organisations need to do. And in this case, it doesn't have the points like it does above for the Data Protection Act. So you'll need to read the paragraphs and work out from that what people need to do. So you might want to come up with your own little point list of 3 or 4 things that people or organisations need to do to comply with the Copyright Design and Patents Act. So that is legislation. That's where you find your information. And like I say, it is a wide one. There is a lot to remember. But if you rehearse it, maybe do some flashcards or something like that for each act to try to remember those things, then you'll be well prepared for the exam. These are just tasks that we would have done in the lesson. So if you want to, by all means, have a go. And as always, there are some questions, some exam questions about this in the Part B, past exam questions. So you can go and test yourself and mark yourself to make sure that you are actually understanding the information. Good luck.